Yeah, this is a pretty, you know, excessive love triangle, isn't it, really? It's the second time now. It's had two children with Lauren, four children of their own, one only a small baby. So he's moved back in, as you say, for the second time. I think it's for the children. He's also sleeping in a separate bedroom in the home that they're in. So she's clearly not ready at this moment to fully take him back, with their intimate love life at this point. I think he has a huge amount to do in terms of her trust issues. I think this will take a long time. I mean, interestingly, as we know, that Lauren Goodman is on Celebs Go Dating at the moment, and she's wearing a very big piece of bling that says KW on it, which would indicate to me that she's definitely not over him, that it's a message to say, she would have him back. So really effectively, I'm not sure she's going to give up on him that easily. I mean, she never removes this necklace with his initials on. Absolutely would recommend they don't watch it. However, they're going to see images, aren't they, in the press and so on. And there will be a temptation probably for Annie to watch what's going on. And if she has watched it, she will see. Perhaps that's even made her think, I need to have him back because this girl is not giving up. So it's a kind of fight for the man, really, with, two women kind of wanting him to be there and looking after their children and with them as a couple. So look, my sense is I'm not sure how well this will work out, but I think she's very determined to snatch him away from the claws of Lauren, who I think would still have him back without a shadow of a doubt. I don't think it can have anything to do with Lauren other than being a good father to their children. That should be a very structured and regimented system where he picks them up and he sees them and he drops them back or whatever it may be, but they've got to keep to a schedule. My fear is, I think that I don't know how susceptible he still is to Lauren now. She's determined to get him back. He's been weak. He's been weak twice in his marriage. Could that happen a third time? I'm not saying a third child, but could she sort of lure him back into her life? I don't know. He's going to have to be absolutely squeaky clean. And you wonder if the guy's got it in him really to do that. And she will be monitoring what he does and where he goes. And when the trust has gone like that, whether she sort of needs to have a check-in all the time of where he is when he's not either working or doing something else. It depends how hard he wants to make this work. Much of it lies in his hands, actually. I mean, if he really is determined to be back with her and make it work, then he would accept that he has betrayed her trust. I would say he will need a good few months of behaving scrupulously well before she'll entertain the idea of them having an intimate relationship again. But of course, that's got to happen at some point, or they're not having a proper full loving relationship. And if they're not having that, he's more likely to stray again, whether it's to Lauren or someone else. So she must be aware there's a very fine balance between kind of ensuring that he's fully committed to this and not allowing him back into the bedroom yet, and also knowing if she doesn't do it at some point in the nearish future, he just may not stick around at all. Yes, look, I think the first thing I've got to do is thoroughly rinse this whole topic out and talk about it, however uncomfortable it is for both of them. For him to be absolutely clear and candid that he has no feelings for Lauren left. I know he's apologized profusely, but how does he feel? What was it that made him go off the first time? They probably had that discussion, but then to go back again for the second time, that's got to be, they're hard conversations to have, and he's going to have to grovel, but he's got to be fully honest, and she's got to be able to trust his honesty at this point and what he's saying. Yeah, then I think, baby steps towards becoming romantic again. It will be date nights, it will be time on their own. not just with the children, because that, I know she's doing it for the children, but to build a relationship between them, they've got to have time apart on their own to work things through. But I think they've got to have this very important conversation. If she has any sense that he's not telling the truth, or that he might stray again, or that Lauryn could be manipulative enough, smart enough to pull him back, I can't see how it will even get to the intimate stage, to be fair. I think they probably need a couples counsellor. At this point, it's so fragile. And I'm always, when people say, well, you know, I'm having him back for the children, you just don't know what the trust issues are. And it's easier sometimes to talk through a third party, to be able to be very candid through a relationship counsellor who is impartial, who's not going to judge him, but will hear him out. So it is very, yeah, I think for those two at this point, I can't see them moving forward without having a counsellor there. Now, if he is just moving in for the children, that's not sustainable, I don't think. They have to have a relationship together. So again, yeah, thrashing this out with a couples counsellor is probably, I hope they are doing that, or will be doing that very soon. This is part and parcel. This is not just a man who had an affair. This is a man who, you know, had an affair and fathered two children by another woman. And I'm sure, much as she wants him to be a good parent, a good father for her own children, she will want him to do the right thing by the children he's had with Lauryn too. I imagine she'll probably want it reasonably restricted. I can't see this family blending anytime soon, so that all the kids go off on holiday together. Or, you know, I think it's too raw and too painful. But in time, if their relationship works out, again, if their marriage works out, then perhaps that's a possibility. But yeah, I don't think she blames him for what he's done, but these children are innocents in that situation, and they deserve to know who their dad is and to have him as part of their lives. Look, it's going to be very difficult to let the past go, because there are, you know, two young children that represent that past that he's got to have contact with. But yes, he's got to look. I mean, he won't be the first footballer that strayed and misbehaved. So yeah, they've got to look to the future. He's got to genuinely feel that he has been foolish and was tempted too easily for whatever reason, and they've got to know, where are they going from here? I mean, they've got 4 children together. Will they have any more? Seems quite a lot already, but you never know. But don't have another baby to kind of bring them together. That would be sort of crazy at this point. But I think this is third strike, really, isn't it? I mean, it's not going to work in the next few months. I can't see it. Can't see them separating and coming back together again for a third time. That seems really unlikely. So, and he must know all that. So again, it comes down to, you know, can he resist that temptation, and what are his priorities and values in life? And that's probably, you know, at the moment he's been banished to another floor in the house. He's going to have to work really hard at it. The footballing world has always been a bit like that, when sort of lads together. Again, I hope he's got at least one friend who isn't inclined to draw him into temptation. The one who says, you know, that another guy perhaps who is married with children, saying, come on, this, you know, she's been amazing. She's given you another chance. Do not screw it up this time. They just need like one person each kind of covering their backs, I think, and helping them through, just being a support as well as having that counsellor, because it just doesn't work when you've only got, and then you've got to live back together again when you've seen the counsellor. And yeah, you need someone having your back. Yeah, of course, he probably won't entirely change his social life, but he's got to show restraint, which is the very thing that he didn't show.